Backyard Conversations Podcast.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Backyard Conversations Podcast. Thank you for joining us. Today we got a pretty relevant topic, I think. We're talking about an upcoming event for many students, high school, college alike. Middle schoolers don't have graduation, right?
They
No,
do,
right.
but it
They
don't
do?
count.
Oh, it don't count.
It don't count.
Okay, middle schoolers, you guys don't count. But we're talking about graduation. We're going to talk about, we've all, well, the thing is, we've all graduated from high school, right? But I'm a college student. My wife here, Milka, who's joining us today, she's actually graduating next week. Next week. And a lot of you guys might be as well. Maybe high school, maybe college. So we're going to talk about it today. But really quick, you guys know me. My name is Joey. It's my man's Jerry. My man's Kevin. And I already introduced Milka. But we are the Backyard Conversations Podcast. And hopefully you find this podcast edifying to your lives. We hope to talk about topics that are relevant to you guys, to today's youth, young adults. And I hope you guys enjoy. So let's get into it.
Graduation. You remember when you graduated?
2019.
2019? 2017.
2019.
Barely made it.
What about the old man? What about the old man?
Yo, I graduated in 2013.
Dang.
Sheesh.
Dang, bro. That's I was in middle school. What? Right?
Yeah,
Sounds like
you were in middle school. You had to be, I think.
How old was your brother?
My brother?
You remember?
Nah. Is this the same age as you?
Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
I don't remember.
Why are older siblings like that? They never remember their younger siblings' like age, birthday, nothing.
I know my brother's birthday. You can fact check me on this. April 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, man, graduation for me was a blast, I guess. Hey, it was a while back, man. It's crazy because one of my high school friends called me today out of nowhere. That was nice. But shout out to him. He's a pretty cool dude. Doing a lot of great things. So I was happy to hear from him and touch back, because believe it or not, you're gonna lose like 99.9% of your friends. I'm sorry to tell you this.
I don't even think I'm friends with any of my high school friends.
Who still got their high school friends? I mean, I got two.
I don't hang out with them consistently, but I still keep in
touch.
Sort of touch, yeah.
Oh yeah. You? Somewhat.
I don't have it.
Kevin is doing sign language. No, but it's crazy, dude. I mean, I think I can only say that I kept communicating with only two of them. But time flies, man. And believe it or not, it's the end, but it's truly the beginning. It's an end of a cycle that you're finally finishing off something, especially the high school kids, that has felt like forever, and college as well. I mean, it's a very stressful season that you go through. I'm not gonna lie, college was a whole different game for me. High school was easy compared to college, and the amount of work that you get in college and the amount of pressure you get in college. And it's good. It prepares you for real life pressure from work and stuff. I mean, could you guys say the same, or was it a little bit different for you? The contrast between high school and college?
I'd say yeah. But do you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, I think college is definitely a different ball game. When I started college, it was like, oh wow, like, these teachers aren't allowing you to make up missed work, or giving you extensions. Like, if the day it's due, and if you didn't do it, that's your fault. They really treat you like an adult, and they hold you accountable like an adult. So I think that is the biggest change between like high school and college. But like Jerry says, I think it's good. It kind of prepares you for real life, because at that point you're out there not on your own, but high school is different. It's more routine, more structured, more, not that college isn't, but you're kind of more on your own. You have to pick up your own slack, kind of.
Yeah. You guys are both. I would agree with both of you guys. College is a lot I mean, it is harder. It's just harder.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like, oh, well, no, it's just harder. You know, high school. And the thing is too, like even with high school, you could pass with all D's. Like you could get D's every year, every semester, and you'll pass.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And you'll graduate.
Yeah, you see what I did is I got a C one quarter, and then I completely got flunked literally the second quarter, and then I would make sure that on my test, my final exam, I at least got a D, and that's what I did for every single class. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't
Get
do
a
that.
decent GPA. Well, I mean, obviously it depends on what you want to do after, but still, like, do okay. Like the thing is, high school also prepares you, like, for, I would say it socializes you, like it prepares you, like it prepares your mind to, like, it helps you to problem solve, you know. So it's still important that you pay attention in high school.
I do wish that high school would teach you like real life basis.
Yeah, there's some other things that they could work
you
on.
know,
Finances.
like
and,
finances and
yeah.
you know, saving, choosing a real career, like actually
Yeah.
telling you what a career can make or what career cannot make. You know, what route you need to take. I feel like they tell you, you know, take your SAT or ACT, whatever, and go to college and then, you know, find your career. I feel like they need to have a career path. Like if you want to follow this career, you should take these classes. You know, if you want to pursue this, you should take these. Because for me, bro, I had like teachers that they would look at me and then they would tell me like, yeah, I legit had a teacher. I think I said it in my testimony. One teacher told me, yeah, you're gonna end up like a construction worker, like a lot of people in your race do. Like, just because I was flunking her class. And then like months later, like she was gone. And then the rest of the teachers, they kind of only cared about you passing their class, and other than that, like no one really cared. The only one that really stood for me was my counselor. She was like, you're gonna pass and you're gonna pursue what you want to pursue. And she was like, in the day tomorrow, I hope that you make more money than I do. And
She's a
you know,
nice counselor.
she, you know, she was encouraging.
And you know what the thing with college is, there's no one like that.
No.
It's all on you.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the responsibilities pushed on you. Like even the classes, like you're in high school. At least I went to a class, the same class, like every day. There was only one that would switch, right? But every other class, it was seven classes every day, same classes. You know, you go to English 5 days a week. In college, you go maybe twice. You know, and it's just for an hour, and then they just give you all the work, and you're like, yeah, do it.
Not even that.
You know?
Like in high school,
So if you
they
hate homework in high school, you're gonna hate homework a lot.
yeah. Not even that. In high school, like your counselor, she makes your schedule. Like you go to college, they're like, okay, these are the courses, but we're not registering you for it. Like you got to go, you got to make your account, you got to register, you got to organize your schedule, what fits for your schedule. Like I wish I had a counselor in college who would make my schedule for me,
real.
but
Yeah, that's
they
true.
don't
I
make
forgot
it
about
for
that.
you. You have to register, you have to pay your fees, you got to, you know, adjust it to your own personal schedule. The advisor or counselor is just there to like tell you like, all right, this is what you need. Here you go, figure it
Are
out.
you gonna take oceanography and pay $600 for a book, or are you gonna
For real.
take psychology and pay, I don't know, $100?
$1,000
Yeah, that's
for a
another thing. You
book.
gotta worry about how you're gonna pay for college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Nah.
but yeah.
Going back to like high school being more like preparing you for the actual real world. No joke, man. A lot of high school kids don't even know what a credit score is.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't think I did. I mean,
yeah.
you have an idea, but
Yeah,
like,
I
it's not
remember-
like you.
I remember this one time I'd asked this one guy, I'm not gonna say names. He said, I got a 10, I think. I was like, what? I was like, what?
A 10?
What? I was like, what?
What type of score?
What type of score? I'm like, that's low,
I
bro.
hope it's not a, yeah, I hope it's not a 10.
I like that doesn't even exist. No, but yeah, it's wild, dude. I mean, for me, my personal experience, like after graduating, first of all, I grew up, I believe it's a very, I wouldn't say wealthy, but it's a very stable, I guess, county, which is Howard County. We have, you know, a wealthy side out of, you know, in Howard County as well. But when I graduated, it was kind of interesting to see the different cultures and how they were taking this, because graduations, I was seeing, like one of my friends, like they were getting gifts and stuff like that, and they were getting money, and some of the girls
get cars.
were getting cars.
Oh.
Yeah, like brand new cars. Yeah, like Mercedes. I'm like, yo,
like, you
what?
never crashed that car,
Like, yeah,
did you?
like you don't even know how to drive, fam. And not to be hating. I mean, if you got it like that, good
Yeah,
for
I
you.
know.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting to see that what I got was a job application. I remember I got a job application. As I don't think it was even a gift. It was just like, "Are you out of high school?
Yeah,
like
that's not a
you need
gift.
a." He's like, you need to go work." So I did go to college. I went to community college for some time for cybersecurity. I truly lost passion. When I actually found out what it entailed about, I already knew I was not going to be interested in it. But I stuck in it for like a good 2 years. And then just because of personal issues as well, I wasn't able to afford college because I guess I didn't qualify for some of the grants and stuff, and not even for financial aid, to be honest, because I was not born here. I'm not from here. So during that time, that was my case. So it was a little difficult. It was almost like a slap on the face for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, man. It was a bitter taste to my mouth because here I am. I'm seeing all these people, and I even remember that in graduation, I don't know if they still do that. That they would put like Milka going to, I don't know, Towson University or UMBC
I don't
or.
think they did it when I graduated, but
I don't think
But
they
when
do it
I did,
anymore.
they were doing
they
it.
did it, yeah. Like so, like when they said my name, and actually most of the majority of Hispanic people is like Mario, unknown. And it's like what? Like oh, I was like,
It's like,
dang.
thanks
yeah,
for,
like
you know,
thank you for
rubbing it in my face.
and that was really interesting to see. So, I mean, to all my high school kids out there, if you are watching this. Enjoy your time and man, take school serious, because whether you like math or not, it is gonna help you problem solve. It's not actually, the numbers that help. Like, let me rephrase that. It's not actual like the classroom and all of that is good, but like the problem solving, the actual you thinking and analyzing and coming up with different ways of solving a problem is what's going to help you in life. And it's not in vain, all of these things that they have in high school. Some of it is not in vain. Some of it's actually good. It's just that they don't explain it, man. I'm not going to lie. I had a hard time understanding a lot of things that we did in high school. I don't even know why we did some things in high school. Like,
Yeah.
Why didn't we talk about finances or what a credit card is or checking account or savings or interest? What is annual? What's the annual percentage of interest? Or like, why didn't we talk about things like that or mortgages? What like
buying a house.
none of that, bro.
Yeah.
Like none of that. And it was like a slap on the face because I needed a car, and the first thing that I had asked is, do you have good credit? And I was like, what the heck is that? So yeah, it was, for me, it was a bittersweet because I was eager to get out of high school. I enjoyed high school, but I didn't enjoy it to the point where I wanted to stay in there, or like, I don't know. There's some people that are very like into education, and they like are passionate about it. For me, it was like, finally I'm out of this. But it's mainly because I was barely making it, to be honest. Like, I was just finessing my classes, most of them. But yeah, what was your experience?
For high school, well, I haven't graduated college, but high school, I think mine was, I mean, it was like a little, well, no, it was a good experience, the graduation, but like the days coming up, or like at least that year, like my senior year, honestly, I was kind of scared, yo. I was scared. Like, contrary to, like, I don't know, everybody I would talk to in school would be like, oh, I'm so ready to graduate and move out, and I'm tired of my parents. I just want to go to college in California and never see, I don't know. I don't know what was going on in their homes, but contrary to that, I did not want to leave, I was, like, kind of scared. Like, I didn't think I was ready to be an adult yet, because it's kind of a sudden transition, right? All of a sudden, you're in high school, you're considered a kid, you turn 18, graduate, boom. Alone, and they did, like you said, they don't teach you, how do you buy a car, how do you buy a house, how do you manage your finances, how can you transition. They don't teach you none of that. And I don't know, I was scared, I didn't know what, like, I my parents expected me to go to college, right? And I did go to college. I am still in college, but I had no idea what I wanted to do for a career. I had no idea what to choose. I didn't know if I like. I didn't know. I don't know. Like the whole idea of like working and just, I don't know. I just didn't know like what to do. I had no idea. I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Do I not want to do it? And it kind of conflicted, I think, because like I grew up Christian my whole life, right? So I'm like, your whole life you're taught, oh, there's a purpose for you in in Christ or in ministry or whatever. And then there's the culture of, the American culture of, oh, you go and you work and that's what you do for the rest of your life, right? And to me, in my head, it kind of conflicted. Like, I don't know. I always felt like church was where I would be, and I want to do all my work in church or whatever. Not literally at the time, but like kind of like implicitly, I just kind of felt like that's where I belonged. And then like to think that, oh, I have to, start a whole career and I don't know, like stay in that career for years and put in 40 hours of my week and all my effort into that job that, like, to me, I didn't see the value of it. I'm like, why am I going to do that when, I don't know, I feel like I should be doing it for God or something, right? Something like that. I don't know. I just didn't know. I was afraid. I was like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave my home. I didn't want to have to, like, I just didn't want to be an adult. I don't know. Like, I wasn't ready. I didn't feel like I was ready. But, by the time graduation came, I had to make those decisions. I had to decide what I was going to do, what I was going to study. Yeah, I know. I guess by graduation, I was okay, Like, it happened, and it's like, okay, well, I'm here now. I guess I got to figure it out, and I don't know. I guess the anticipation was what made me scared, but then I got there, and it was like, well, I'm here. I don't know. So it was good, but, it wasn't like, oh my, like glorious. I don't know. I didn't get a new car. I don't know.
All right. All right.
I don't know. It's the first time I really talk about it. So.
Got bittersweet, and we got a little bit scared.
He was like, I don't know. What about you?
It's all right.
Or either of you two?
Oh, you good?
Well, we can leave her for last because she also has college.
Oh yeah.
We can
that's true.
Ask her how she feels.
Well, I didn't go to college, but I went to a trade school. But that wasn't the plan. Like the original plan was to. I first wanted to go to the military. Like I wanted to do Marines.
Oh my gosh, me too.
But my dad told me, if you go to the military, you can forget about your family. I don't support that. So I didn't go. I was already within the working idea because since I was a junior, I was already working. I was working at government buildings and I was cleaning offices. And so I did that for 2 years. And then once I graduated, then I got my first full time at Honda. And I was like, okay, this is all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just work. I and even though I grew up in church too, and I knew that I had a calling, God had already showed me that in many ways, but I was so hurt by faith and church and religion and all that I said, you know what, I don't want to do it. So my idea of coming out of high school was I'm gonna just work and whatever, kind of like how most Hispanics do. They work, I don't know, 50, 60 hours a week and then they go home and whatever. And I was thinking about doing that and then taking like 2 weeks of a vacation, every like 4 months and just flunking money and coming back doing the same thing, just whatever. Because I was like, this is what it is. This is how everybody's going to end. But I guess God had other ideas, other intentions, other purposes. And I was able to get back into church. And I really didn't go to college like that. Like I didn't go 2 years. I went 1 semester and I said, no, I can't do it because I barely made it out of high school. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. And my first class was like the welcome class to the college life. And then the other one was like algebra 2 or something. I don't know. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this. So I left that. And then I got into working into trades. Like I went electrician, I went HVAC, I went plumbing. Then I got into hydraulics, and then from hydraulics I got into mechanics, and then as a mechanic, then I was like, okay, I want to go to school. So that's when I went to the trade school for 2 years, and then I finished, and that's what I stayed with. And honestly, I don't think I'm gonna go anywhere else to school or anything like that. But Mine's was just more of I know what I gotta do. I just gotta work.
So it was
That's
just
it.
kind of like routine. Your
Yeah.
graduation was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's just get it over.
Like school's done now. At least now I have more time and I can go to work. And I mean, I didn't care. I even if I went to a construction site and pulled out buckets of mud or whatever, that's it. It's work. It's just work. That's all I wanted to do. Just work. And then in school, like all the other people, yes, they were going to college, but the small amount of Hispanics that I had that in that school, like they really didn't know what they were gonna do either. Like they're stay at home kids. Mom and dad does everything for them, and they didn't know what working out here means. Like for them, working is like sitting in an office in front of a computer, and they thought they were just gonna start making at that time $25 an hour was a lot. So they were like, yeah, I'm gonna make $25 an hour. I'm gonna work in front of a computer with my dad's office, and yeah, I'm gonna be all right. And then until today,
I always hear that they're gonna work with their parents.
Yeah, and then until today, I know most of them, they're still making $22 or $23 an hour, and they're not doing that. They're like working in retail stores and cleaning stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't the dream, bro. Like, no. But yeah, it was more of I'm for me it was just I know what I got to do. It's just I got to work. It is what it is.
Okay. Nothing positive so far.
No, nothing positive.
Okay. Let's move on.
I think my high school graduation was pretty good. I enjoyed high school. I'm not friends with any of my friends that I was with in high school, but my senior year was kind of like I was like, okay, like I'm gonna graduate soon. Like, what am I gonna do? And I honestly didn't know what I was gonna do until like the last couple of months of my senior year. But I didn't know what to do, and my sister's first generation college graduate. My older sister, she graduated from Towson, and honestly, I would ask her, and I would look up to her, and I'd be like, well, what do I do? Like, how do I transition from high school to college? So I am grateful that I had her because she helped me through it all. She helped me with my application. She helped me with applying for grants, applying for scholarships, applying for all those things. I think there was a point in my senior year where I wanted to be a party college student. So I did apply to a few colleges outside of where we live because I was like, nah, I want that experience. I applied to Penn State and I got accepted, but I just couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't find the willpower to actually move out of state, knowing that my whole family was here. And at the time, I started going to Transformation and knowing that I was, starting to go to a new church, and I was like, man, how can I leave? I mean, I only applied to Penn State. The other ones I didn't apply to because they're okay. But anyway, I found what I wanted to do, so that really helped me with get excited about graduating high school. So I was actually kind of excited to graduate high school because I felt like I had a plan, and my sister helped me a lot with my plan. And thankfully I found a career that I wanted to do like 2 months before I even graduated. And because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I didn't want to do what my sister does. She's an accountant, and it sounds horrible. But so I was excited to graduate high school. And I mean, it was a good experience for me. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed graduating. I was very excited to start the new journey in my life, which was college.
Nice. What did you end up doing?
I am graduating as a registered nurse. So nice. I chose to do nursing. Again, I didn't know I wanted to do nursing. I always liked the medical field because my mom had a really bad accident in 2011. Not going to go through the whole story, but she had 9 surgeries on her right arm. So she was hospitalized for quite a good time of my life in middle school. And then I just remember like enjoying, I used to like being in the hospital. I was a weird kid. I used to like going and visiting her even though she was like in pain, but I used to like going. I thought it was cool. So I chose nursing, and then my sister, one of my sisters had twins, and they were in the NICU for about two months, and that was my senior year of high school, and I would go visit them quite often, and I was just, that's kind of what sold me. I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be a nurse. So I'm graduating as a registered nurse.
Nice.
I graduate next Friday.
Sheesh.
So it was definitely hard. I will say college is hard. Nursing is hard. So I don't know if I feel like maybe I did it to myself because I chose a hard career, but I enjoy learning more about my career. So I think that's what has helped me throughout the program, because I actually enjoy learning about nursing. So I feel like if you don't enjoy I feel like Kevin could say the same. Like, he enjoys learning about cars. He enjoys learning about mechanics. He enjoys learning about different motors and different, whatever. I don't know much about mechanics, but he enjoys it. So I feel like that's what motivated him to even be a mechanic. So I would say the same. I enjoy what I have learned so far.
What comparing like high school graduation versus now, which one's like?
Oh, right
now.
College.
College graduation.
For
For sure. And it's not because of, look at me, I'm a college student and I'm going to graduate, because you don't have to go to college. But there's a different feeling from graduating from college, because it is hard work. Like we kind of said earlier, you kind of have to, you're on your own. Like, they're there to help you and assist you wherever they can, but they're not going to like hold your hand and baby you through. So it's definitely hard work. Like in high school, I was not the best. In high school, I wasn't the best student. I didn't get like B's, A's. I had friends who were like super, they wanted to be like valedictorian, 4.0, 4.5, for high school. And I was not like that. I was getting C's. Just being honest, I was getting C's, so I wasn't the best student. But then in college, it was like, no, I need to get a good grade, because every course has a requirement, like you don't pass if you don't get this grade. And even in the nursing program, like you don't pass if you don't get this grade. You don't get in, don't you? You don't get in if you don't pass these classes with these grades. You don't. So it was like a different level of like, okay, I can't like wing this. I can't just flunk it. I can't just go in there and guess on my test and think I'll be okay. Like, no, I actually have to put in some work and do it.
No, that's good. Thank you for sharing. And college definitely is a different. It's a different animal. But I mean, I feel bad for this younger generation, to be honest. I mean, I look at my brother, bro, and he's gonna graduate soon. And to be honest, man, I can truly say graduating in 2013. I think we had it easier than you guys and then the people that are graduating now, because more than ever, like, this financial crisis that we're going through is insane, dude. It's like I cop an apartment when I moved out of my parents' house for like $1,300, and it was like on a very like known neighborhood, and it was a luxury apartment, and I had pool, and I had a gym, and it was really good. It was really nice. The apartment was actually really, really nice. Like, it had appliances, clean, neat. And now you try and get the same apartment, and it's almost $2,500 to $2,800. The same apartment that I had that was $13 back in the day. Today, right now, you walk into that office right now and you say, I want to lease a one room apartment in that area. It's 23 and up.
Oh my God.
And that's me being generous of the fact that I haven't checked. But I know for a fact, like, you can't get anything under 2,000 in that area.
Yeah, and it's hard to find some anywhere in the ballpark of like 13. Like, it took me, like, when we were trying to find an apartment, it took me a while to find something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like you're saying, yours was luxury. Mine was not. I had them fake, that fake marble where it's just wood and they put the paper on the the appliances look really old.
We didn't even have a microwave.
Which was weird, because I saw other people with microwaves on their things. I'm like, where's my microwave?
You didn't pay the premium.
Our fridge didn't work the first week.
Yeah, our fridge didn't.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. But it's right now. I mean, I can truly tell you, it's not a good time to be playing around and to be saying, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Right now, like, if you're going to college, you better make sure it's a career that's gonna pay off the debt. That if you're getting into debt, I would advise you to not even get into debt, because that's a chain you're wrapping around your throat.
Yeah.
Biblical.
That eventually it's gonna choke you.
Debt to no.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. But I mean, I feel bad for these kids nowadays, because everything's high, bro.
Yeah.
Gas is high, food is high, everything's high. And I don't mean to sound negative, but whoever's listening to this, man, you gotta get your lines straight. You gotta make sure you understand where you at what point of your life you at, and make some moves, man. But what's something that you would have done differently if you know what you know now?
I think for me, it's like I was thinking when she was talking about the high school graduates versus college. It's like I think the outlook changes. Like I think you in high school, like you don't. At least for me, like I didn't know. Like I was saying, like I just didn't really know anything. I didn't know how to view anything. And now that I'm like 5 years into college, like my mindset is cleared, especially when it came to like the whole career thing. Like you're saying, like that's an important decision that especially kids now need to make, and it better be a good career, because I think the common outlook is that, or the common view especially when we're about to graduate, kids just want to go, oh, I want to have a dream job. I want to have a job that I can do what I love and whatnot. And I guess I guess like kind of the American like capitalist view is that that's your purpose. Oh, my purpose is to be a chef, or my purpose is to, or I like cars, so I want to be a car designer and get that job or whatever. And I think for me, I feel like I learned, not that that's a bad thing to do that, but I learned that that's not my purpose. My career isn't my purpose, right? God says we got to provide, and that's what the job is for, a good job, choose a good career. It doesn't have to be something you love. It doesn't have to be something you're like, it doesn't have to be your dream job, I don't know. I mean, it can't be a bad job either, but for me, it was like, I learned that, okay, like I have to be okay. Because the thing is, I didn't want to do anything. Like I looked at all the degrees and none of it was like,
It was like, nah.
I was like, no. I got to the bottom of the list, bro. No. I didn't want to do it, any of it. And eventually I had to just settle. And I realized, well, this is just going to be to provide. This isn't my whole life. This isn't all my life's going to be about. My purpose lies elsewhere, and I can still follow that purpose. I can still follow my passions. Like I love music. Maybe an ideal dream career for me would be to be a musician, but I know that I can't provide for a family like that, being a musician, right? Like if I want to be successful, that's a very, very low success rate already. Yeah. And if I'm going to be one of those like session musicians or like live, like street musicians, like I'm not going to make a lot of money. And I was okay with that, like it doesn't have to be what I do for a living. And to an extent, I always hear people say that when they do get that opportunity, their passion just ends up becoming work.
Yeah.
Like, and it kind of ruins it for them. I don't know. For me, it was like maybe changing that. I think that's what worried me a lot. It was like, oh, is this going to be what I do for my whole life? And I don't know, maybe changing that mindset and that view probably would have calmed me down a lot. Like, I'm okay with, I can tolerate this job because it's going to provide and it's going to give me something I need. And my whole life is not going to be in that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you mentioned a few things that are very crucial that I'm going to touch on, and with my opinion of that. But one thing that I did want to mention is the fact that a dream is not enough, bro. A dream is definitely not enough. I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys are going to get there, I'm pretty sure you have the experiences like that, but you finally have something that you always dreamed about. And I have those instances in my life. I finally achieved something that I said I was going to achieve, and I achieved it, and I kind of like broke if you want to call it generational curse, you can call it generational curse, or a generational barrier, let's say, that we haven't broken in our family. So I finally like broke that line, and it's not enough.
Yeah, because there's what now?
No, it's not enough. Like, especially if your dream is materialistic driven. If your dream is based on like, oh, I want to have luxury this, luxury that. I want to have a Gucci belt, Gucci shoes, Gucci shirt, Gucci suits. I want to have Louis this, Louis that. I want to live this type of lifestyle. Well, let me tell you, you're still gonna end up with the empty void in your heart and in your mind. And it's not enough. Having a dream nowadays is not enough, man. I think that you need a purpose. You need to have an identity of who you are, and that's what I wish I would have known I wish I would have known my identity, because I struggle with that in high school, especially. I struggle a lot with that. If I would have known my identity earlier of who I am in the sight of God, and who I am as a child of God, and the things that I have been given by the grace of God, man, I would be in a different position right now for sure, because I missed a lot of years trying to figure out myself.
Yeah.
And one of the main things is because I wasn't going to a church. I didn't start going to church until I was 19, 18. And then the other thing too is that I had to detox from all the legalism and all the cultural church aspect of it. So part of my years in church was me trying to understand what grace and love is. And not live this life where I felt like I was walking on eggshell. Oops, God is mad at me. Oops,
Yeah.
I disappointed God. Oops, he doesn't love me no more. Oops, he left me. He abandoned me. So I wish I would have known like my identity. I wish I would have known like that there's more to life than a 9 to 5. There's more to life than a dream job. And a lot of people achieve the dream, but then the dream starts becoming a curse because it still requires work.
Yeah.
It still requires work. It's still gonna give you headaches. So it's interesting. I mean, that was my take on it. I wish I would have known my identity. That's the only thing that I think that would have changed a lot and would have saved me a lot of time in terms of trying to figure out who I am. But what you got to say, Sordo?
No. I agree with both of you guys. And I think I'm more gonna go towards what you said, because my dream wasn't to become a mechanic. My dream was to become a professional gamer.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You were trying to be a professional.
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah, I wanted to play competitive Call of Duty. That's what I wanted to do, and then become a content creator. That's what I wanted to do.
Streamer.
Clumsy.
And then literally all the checks that I got out of my part-time job, I was throwing it at
games
and equipment and prepping my competitive equipment, all that stuff. I was getting ready, bro. I was really getting ready.
What do you call it?
The scuff.
Scuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Getting the scuff control.
Yeah, I was doing it. I was practicing every single night. During the summer, bro, I was playing long hours practicing with different teams, trying to make it. But no.
Clumsy.
But once I reached senior year, I remember that conversation I had with my dad. Like he came into my room one time, and I was in the middle of a competitive match, and I had money on the line. And one of the things that I told my parents was that if I know I'm in a competitive match, whatever you say, I'm not listening. I'm like, I gotta win. I'm not losing this money. And I was in the middle of a match, and he comes in, and he's trying to talk to me, and I'm out here like, I'm in a match. Like, come on, man. And he says, okay. He's like, as soon as you're done, he's like, we need to talk. He's like, because you can't be doing this forever. And then he left. I finished the match, and then when I went to go talk to him, he told me like, he's like, you gotta prepare for this real world. He's like, out here, he's like, you're not guaranteed that this is how you're gonna live. He's like, your bills are not guaranteed to get paid. If you're not achieving this at the level that you want to achieve it. Because the thing is, you could play competitive, and you could be betting $100 or $200, but that doesn't mean you're gonna have that check at the end to pay your bills. So most of these guys that are doing this, they actually have a job, and they're going to work, and then they're doing competitive on the side trying to make it. And then it's a very small percentage of folks that make it actually start making, the big money. And especially now, the amateur leagues, this like recent amateur leagues dropped, and now they're making way less. I mean, like their competitive championship matches, their prize pool is like $25,000. And then their players are making like, I don't know, like $500 off that, because the rest goes to the organization. So they're kind of just playing for the respect out of all the other amateur players. So you really don't make money like that. So he put a real life scenario in front of me, and he was like, imagine you got to pay this and you got to pay this, you got to pay this. He's like, how many matches of that do you have to play to make all that money? And then just thinking about it, I'm like, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to do all this just to pay these bills. So he says, he's like, you need to get into something that is gonna continuously bring you money in order for you to pay your bills. And then if you want to do this, then you could do this on the side, but at least you have this under your belt so you can pay your bills. So, you know, now being in the field as a mechanic and doing this as a trade, it's a steady check and it's a secured check. And no matter, even if you leave one company, you can go to another and make the same thing. One of the things that somebody told me is, as soon as you reach a certain mark of pay in this career, you're never going to drop down, ever. You know, you're never going to walk into a place and never going to ask for less money, because if you're already making this amount, that's what you can ask for. He's like, you're either going to make the same amount or you're going to make more. And most of the time, it's just going to keep going up. And if I would have known this, I think what I would have done in high school was I probably would have pursued to look good in the system, you know, the educational system, like a good student that makes good grades, that can pass his tests and exams, all that stuff, just so that I wouldn't have owed much on my trade school. Because my trade school, you know, when I went for the financial aid, they didn't give me good aid. They didn't give me good grants. So I ended up having student loans, and I'm still paying them now. But I feel like if I would have been a better student, maybe in the system I would have looked better. And then they could have been like, okay, you know what? Let's give you this grant. Let's give you this other grant. Let's give you this other aid. And I guess I wouldn't have been in so much debt now. Like, so I do agree. Don't get into the debt. And the only way that you could do that in high school is just by being a good student. If you can show that you're a good student, that you're proactive, that you're doing what you got to do, you know, you can get the grants. You know, you can get the scholarships.
Yeah.
The government will help you, but if you were like me, like I was flunking, I was barely making it every single year. I was barely making it, and I graduated with the .88. And when they saw that at the trade school, the person that was interviewing me was like, "How did you graduate? Like, how did you make it?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but I made it. Here's the diploma. But like that's my advice to everybody that's there. Like, you may think that those academic years really don't matter, like all that English, all that math, all that science, all that history. You might think that none of that matters, but in the system it does. The system, it matters to you personally in the world, because as of right now, all the stuff they taught me in math I haven't used. All the stuff they taught me reading, most of it I haven't used. In science, same thing. In history, same thing. It's just stuff that just comes to my mind, like, oh yeah, I remember this. But in real life talk, I haven't really used it. But in the system, it helps you. So for the sake of the system, if you're trying to pursue something out there, first of all, be realistic. You know, you got to know what's going to pay bills. You got to know what's going to help you. You got to know what's going to provide. Be smart about that. And then it's okay to dream, but don't let your dream be what's in front of you. What has to be in front of you is your mind. You know, they told me think with your mind, not with your heart. Because a lot of people they're thinking with their heart, and their heart leads them the wrong way, and then you're broke, and you're hurt, and you're sad, and you know what you're going to do. So think with your mind, and as you're pursuing and as you're walking, as you're going towards your career, you could still have that dream, and you could still work. You know, you could still, if you have the 9 to 5, bro, just stick to the 9 to 5 until you see it happen, until you achieve what you want to achieve. But on the Christian side, we just know that we're not called to make money. You know, God has not called us. He didn't create us like make money. No, like God created us for His kingdom. You know, to build His kingdom, to live for His kingdom, bring others to His kingdom. So the kingdom mindset is something else, and that's when I agree with you with your identity, because I knew a lot of people that were Christian and they were putting their careers first. Like I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer.
That's the culture.
Yep.
You know, that's
like I want to do this. Like this is all I want to do. And I'm like, yeah, but how are you going to attend church like that? Well, you know, God is going to understand. And I'm like, yeah, but if you don't try to put attention to God, you can't say God understands, because God sees that you don't care, that you don't try. So I understand that there's classes that, you know, you have to take, and sometimes you probably won't be able to go to the prayer service, or you won't be able to serve, or you won't be able to go on Sunday. That's understandable. But if you know you have a Thursday off and you could take that class on a Thursday, but you're like, nah, let me take it on Sunday instead, and whatever, then you can't say God understands. You know, it's just logic.
And
so
yeah, I think that's kind of jarring too for a lot of people, because it's so normal to be like, oh, work is important.
Yeah,
that I can just skip church.
Right.
You know, like, oh, I have to go to work, and in reality, like, no, it's not that important.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it should be the other way around.
Right.
You should be telling your job, hey, I can't work on these days because of church. And for a lot of people, it's like, oh, but work. I don't know. It's just like a cultural thing that work is so important. You can't miss work.
Right. But yeah, it's like it's the same. But like you said, it's the same thing with your career, with education or college. It needs to like your career and your life. It needs to surround church. It needs to surround God. It needs to surround faith. If it surrounds you and your personal needs and your personal dreams, then you're beginning to idolize your life. You're beginning to idolize your future, and then you're that person that Jesus says you can't follow me if you don't deny yourself. You have to deny yourself. You have to deny, this is what they were preaching on Sunday. You have to put the love of your father, of your mother, of your brother, of your sister, of your wife, and of yourself second, and you got to put the love towards God first. So to all the brothers and sisters, and this is to the Christian, because the ones who are unchristian are not going to understand this. But if you're Christian, your career, it needs to surround God. God needs to be the center of that. And if God is the center of it, God is going to make the way for you to be able to achieve that, because God is a good provider and he's a good way maker. He's so good that he makes it possible. So, so I agree with both of y'all. So.
I think you did mention really, really quick. I don't want to take too much time, but you mentioned like, it's like we have to think about, like my dad was putting the scenario to you about, you have to pay all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think what you said is really good. That I think probably one of the things we could all probably say is that our mentalities in high school are not like, what about the bills? Right. when they say like, what about this? Like, so, we're not thinking about that when we're transitioning. Like at graduation, we're not thinking about, what about all the bills I'm going to have to pay?
Yep.
Like for me, that was not that money is super, like money's not your God. Right. But for me, I think like money just didn't matter. Like I never cared about money. Like you can ask my parents every time they're like, I don't know, like they used to like try to give me like incentive to do chores. And I'd be like, no, I don't want the money. And then they'd get mad at me, be like, go do it anyways. And I got in trouble. But like I never cared about the money.
Right.
And and I don't know, I think I devalued it so much. It's like when I like, I think that's probably part of the reason why I struggled so much with graduating, going to college and having to do a career and all that. Like I didn't realize that yes, God didn't create money and God's not everything, but like the world we live in, the reality is that we're gonna have to have bills to pay, and if I want to have a family, I need to support them with money. So I think that's another thing that is good that you mentioned. Like we have to kind of like come to that realization, like, oh wait, like maybe in 2, 3, 4 years, I'm gonna have to be paying a lot of this stuff, and that's another thing maybe that they could teach us in high school too, like the actual costs of living.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
But I don't know. I thought it was really good that you mentioned that.
Like lunch is free right now, but later it won't be free.
Really,
it won't be free.
Lunch is $3.
It's discounted. Yeah.
So milk
going on.
I mean, I agree. I think for me it was a little not different, but like I said in I think the previous episode I was on, my sisters influenced me a lot, and they guided me a lot, and I appreciate my sisters because unlike Joey, like where you didn't have to worry about money, like I don't know, my sisters always taught me from a young age of how to save your money, how to be financially smart, especially my eldest sister, the one who graduated university. She taught me all those stuff, like how to save and how to be smart with your money, and if you have money, like you don't need me to buy this for you. It wasn't because my sisters bought me a lot of my stuff growing up, and it wasn't that she was trying to deny me anything. She was just like, no, like you have money, and in real life you're gonna have to buy your own things. Use the $20 that you have to buy your deodorant or something random like that. So I don't know, for me it was always like when I was coming up to graduating high school, it was like, okay, well now I need to figure out like how am I going to make money, and I never cared about being making a lot of money, but I just wanted a good stable career that would bring me money. But it I don't think that my career has ever been like my main focus. I remember when I started the nursing program, we have to do clinicals. And I remember my first semester when they told me I had to do clinicals on Sundays, I cried. I cried so bad because I did not want to miss church to have to go to the hospital. But I knew that if I didn't go to the hospital, they would fail me. So I cried, but it worked out anyway, because somehow God blessed my teacher. She would always let us out early and I would always make it to the service. But like, it was always like, honestly, I think church, being so involved in church it's what's kept me sane throughout college, because college is hard and sometimes you feel like you want to give up and you don't want to keep going, and you feel like you're on your own sometimes, because college is like that. But I think being so involved in church has really helped me, and now I'm here and I'm graduating, and I don't know how I survived some of the hard parts of college. And I do truly believe that it's been God, and it's been because I can obviously, as any believer, you can always work on certain areas, but I never turned away from God throughout college. I never ran away from the church. I never made an excuse of like, oh, I have to, turn in this assignment. Like sometimes I would be in the back of the church typing up my assignments. Like, you can ask your wife. She would be like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to turn in this assignment. But I wouldn't miss, I would always be there. And unless it was something major, then yeah, maybe. But I didn't want to miss. Like I would get mad of the fact that if I had to miss because of school, like I would hate it.
Yeah. But I think that has a lot to do with knowing who God is in your life. Like you were mentioning, like you don't really care about money. And I think reason of that is because God is our provider, man. Like the economy can go downhill right now, and we can say that God is our provider. Yep. But going back to what you were saying, I have a Bible verse that probably recaps this, and it says, "Listen to the advice and accept instructions, that you may gain wisdom in the future. Many are the plans in the mind of men, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand." Proverbs 19:20 through 21.
Yeah. Fire.
Man, there is people in your life that are gonna talk to you and trying to prepare you for what's ahead. Mm-hmm. Listen to them.
Yeah.
Don't be a brat.
For real.
Don't
be a brat. No, that's like the perfect word.
Don't be a self-centered
know-it-all. You think you know it all.
You think you know it all. I mean, because YouTube might sell it to you, but they're not living the life that you live in. They're not seeing firsthand the life that you're living. So, listen, man. Listen and take an account. Take what's good. And I mean, yeah, in high school, I heard this a lot. Follow your dreams, but more than a dream, you have to have consistency. You have to have habits. You have to build a good circle around you in order for you to get there. You're not gonna achieve this alone. Seriously, you're not. You're gonna need people around your side that are gonna support you emotionally, spiritually, and I think that's one of the things that you guys did pretty good. I mean, you're graduating. Did you complete college with no student loans?
Yeah, I have no student loans. I am going to a community college, so I think that helps a lot. But no, I have no loans, and I had to pay very little out of my pocket for any of my classes. They're still cheaper than a university, but I mean, they're still kind of like, one of my books was like $1,000 something. It was, but I didn't pay that, so that's great.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's an accomplishment because, man, you're hustling out there. That's what matters. There's ways. Listen, if you have a dream, there is ways, but you have to take it serious. Like you can't have a dream and say, I want to make it as a rapper, but you're not even writing anything, and you're not. You don't even know what a verb and a noun is and how they work together, bro. You don't put any effort into it, so there has to be more than this. Like there has to be a structure to your life, habits that you have to build. But man, listen to the people who are trying to talk to you. Listen to the mom and dad that are trying to prepare you for what's ahead, man. And I know that maybe there could be some friction here and there, but they've gone through life. It's not like they want to see you fail.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing to note, man. Having a community, having a church during those hard times, not becoming isolated. And I think that's the problem with today's generation, that they've been consumed with so much social media and with this phone that it's so easy to be alone.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can truly say that I might have felt alone in some of the periods of my life, but I was never alone. You know, because of church, because of, pastor, I always had, I love my pastor. He's always been there for me. I remember I would bug him, like it would be like 12 a.m. and it would be like late at night, and I would bug him. And I would go over his house, and like during those critical moments of life, man, he's always been there. And there's people too that always been there for my life. And even now, like, you're gonna find out that it's hard to find good friends.
It is.
It's hard to find good people.
Yeah.
Like people that you can say, I trust you, so I'm gonna tell you what I'm struggling with, and I'm gonna confess my sin like the Bible tells me, so that I can gain healing. It's hard, dude.
Yeah.
It is hard.
It is.
It's very hard, but part of it, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we're not vulnerable, and we want to receive trust, but we're not giving it. We don't take that risk. But that's a whole different topic. I don't want to get into that because we gonna spend all night. Yeah. But where does God fit into all of this? And I think we already kind of like touched it in the light of all of this. We kind of already schemed through it, like putting God first, making sure that you have that strong foundation, not putting college like as a pedestal or as a altar.
Yeah. And
both of you are a testimony that it's doable. I mean, I had my 2 years that I went through, and I mean, I had a full-time job as well, but it's doable, man. Like, and I think that has paid off. I know that has paid off in my life, because there's a lot of things in my life that I can't explain, like resources that have come, money that has come, and like you said, for some reason your teacher allowed you to leave early and you still made it to church.
Yeah,
it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you have to prioritize God first.
Yeah.
And you have to know that there's a greater purpose even within your career.
Yeah.
God can use that. There's a Bible verse that says, do everything to honor him. Like you're doing it for God, even your job, even your 9 to 5, even if you're working at McDonald's. Like do it, like do it, represent yourself and God in a good way, man. Stop being lazy.
Yeah.
I have just some advice real quick. About putting God first. As long as God is in the center, you can be honest with God about what you want to achieve. Like if your dream is to become a designer or artist or whatever, put God first and place that in his hands. God is going to align you to where you can execute that dream, where you can execute that. And God is going to make sure that you have the provision that you need for it. That I'm a strong believer of that. Because those that know me personally, because of the bad decisions that I did in the past, I'm in debt. I'm in debt. I could be honest about it. I'm in debt. But in some way, in some manner, God has always provided for me to pay off. Like I've never been behind. I've never struggled. Like I haven't been in a rough spot where I'm like on the floor, I'll say. Yes, there's been times where I've had to adjust my life, but I can always say God has provided. There's always been a way. You just have to stick through it. Everything you do has a consequence. So I can't say this and be like, oh, I'm in debt, but now that I'm Christian, God has to get me out of debt. No, it's a consequence of what I did. But God has been there through every single one of my struggles. He's been through the process, and he allowed me to get into this career to be able to pay all this stuff, and it's possible, and it's working, and it's a career where I'm growing and I'm progressing, and there's more to come. But even though the day of tomorrow I can make more, or the day tomorrow I can grow in position, I can't forget God. I can't forget where God took me out of. I can't forget where I started. So no matter what, I don't care, how much money they offer me. I don't care what position they offer. I have to always say, no, I got to go to church. I serve. I have to be off early. If you need somebody on Sunday, I don't care if you're paying triple time. I'm sorry, I can't. I got to go to church. So let your life, your career, and your future surround God, and God is going to worry about putting everything else aligned to where it's supposed to be.
That's good. Yeah. I would say kind of like what you're saying, putting God first and he'll provide. I think to all the, I'm assuming most of the people watching are Christians. So, if you're graduating and you are afraid, like I was afraid, you don't need to be afraid. Because God will provide, like literally. And the thing is too, like, I think part of it too is social pressures and the expectations of society that, naturally you go to college or naturally you have something lined up. And I mean, you got to make smart decisions, but college hasn't existed for all of time. Life is life. There's a lot of different ways to success. College is one of them. There's a lot of people that say it's not. It is. You just have to be smart about it. You can't just choose some random degree that's never going to be used. But there's other ways.
Finance. I'm just kidding.
Huh?
Hey, yo.
You said what? Finance?
Like finance.
I'm just kidding.
Business. What is it?
Business finance or something like that.
There's other ways, but be smart.
Watch the comments go off because of this.
Oh my gosh. No. College is good in like if you're smart about it. And some people choose to work. Kevin went to trade. That's a very viable option.
He's making more money than people that have degrees out there.
For real.
So I feel like for me it was the uncertainty. Hey man, praise God.
Yeah, it's good.
But the uncertainty scared me. Like, do I want to go to college? What am I going to do if I don't? What do I do if I do go to college with a degree? Like, the uncertainty is okay. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different paths to life, and I can speak on it myself too, because I think one of my worries early in college when I first started was like the expectation of finishing college in 4 years,
Yeah.
And 4 years and you're done, right? I'm in my 5th year and I'm not going to finish this year, right? It's going to take me a little more, and that's okay. And apparently the average time is actually 6 years to get a bachelor's. I always thought it was 4, but
Took my sister 8.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Took my sister 8 years to
But she
get
made
her
it. But she made
bachelor's.
it.
But
Yeah,
she made it, and she
it.
never gave up.
And I don't know. I mean, I would say if you're a Christian, like, you don't have to worry. You don't have to be afraid, because God will provide. Life will work itself out. Trust me. If you just put him first and you trust in him and your purpose is aligned towards God, I mean, it'll work itself out. Like Kevin said, I can testify too. Like Jerry was talking about, like, it just works out. I mean, like, we took a decision to get married at 20 years old. None of us had graduated. None of us had careers yet. And we struggled financially, especially, but like Kevin was saying, we never didn't have enough to cover the expenses. Even if like we were coming to the end and we're like, we're like $100-$200 short, somehow it came our way. Like just literally miraculously, honestly. Like, it was like right on time. Like, what the heck? Like, it was crazy, right? We didn't buy any of our furniture except like, what was it?
Our bed frame.
One or two.
Our bed frame. It was literally our bed frame. That was the only thing we bought. Everything else was gifted to us, or
God did.
Yeah.
Or like a hand me down. Like someone didn't want it, and they were like, "Do you want it?"
God did.
Yeah, God.
Kevin gave us a coffee table and a sound
bar.
So yeah, I mean, God provides. God provides.
Yes.
Like, God will take care of you. So I would say, God fits in that way. He will take care of you. Like, I don't know. It's complex, but I'll just say, don't be afraid. Don't worry. Like, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
God's got it.
The struggle, it's part of the journey, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to struggle. Don't be afraid to fail. Because some people, like, they don't take a step forward too because they are afraid. And I've mentioned this before. Fear will paralyze you. It's not gonna allow you to move. And yeah, man. Like, you have your best days are ahead, but you do have to work for it.
Yeah.
Like, you reap what you sow. So if you're just sitting on your couch and you're not doing anything, then that's where you're gonna sow. Like nothing is gonna change. Literally nothing is gonna change. You have to start working. You have to start working hard, whether it's at your personal business. If you want to open your own business, open your own business. I mean, like you said, there's many ways to success. College is not the only thing that you can do to become really wealthy. There's multiple of people now that are extremely rich, and they haven't even, some of them haven't even finished high school, to be honest. You know, and some of them have some college, some of them have no college. But I think it's what you mentioned is, it's, you know, you have to be smart about it, meaning you have to be really picky in terms of what you choose to go to college for, because if you choose to go to college for a mechanic, let's say, when you can go to trade school and cut the cost by more than half.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't seem that wise. So, I mean, there's many ways, and I know a bunch of people too that I graduated from high school that have their own business, very successful people.
Yeah.
And you know, me myself, I've grinded, and God has opened up doors that to the day I don't even know how I got in, man. It was like one of those memes that, you know, you lied in your resume, but I mean, I wasn't lying. It's just God's grace over me and open up doors. But we're about to wrap up, and I do want to hear Milka because she's recently gone through it. I mean, you grinded out a bunch. Like, you've been grinding, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. This girl been drinking caffeine like I don't know what. If she starts jittering, it's okay. No, but you know, man, congrats, man. Truly, I mean, you're an example to follow, and I can truly say I've you know, I witnessed it at first hand, where there's been times where you've been exhausted and you still showed up. There's been time where you can tell that this girl been probably barely sleeping, and she was there, you know, worshiping and praising, and not only in church, but she was there at her job at school. Like, you could tell that she was working hard, and now, I mean, the fruits of your labors, I mean, now you have options lined up, and it's exciting. But why don't you finish us off?
Yeah, it is exciting. It's hard. Like Jerry was saying, I've had my moments where I was very exhausted, where I wanted to quit, where I didn't want to keep going. But, you know, your hard work pays off, and you know, you're not alone. You have, you know, whoever's there to support you, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends. And I would say, I mean, honestly, if you are thinking about going to college, like, make friends. College friends, like, make good friends in college. But a lot of my friends in college are, you know, it's nice to have people in the same position as you, in the same boat as you, that you can just go to and be like, yo, like, I really did so bad on that exam. What did you get? How did you get it? Can I study with you? Can we be friends? Can we go out to coffee? Like, it helps you. It motivates you. It keeps you going. It makes you learn different learning styles too, different study tips or whatever. And then you don't feel alone. You feel like, okay, I have this person who's like struggling with me and he's exhausted at the same time. So make friends. And then I was going to say too, don't, like, if you're scared about going to college because you don't know where to start, and a lot of the time society puts that pressure and has made these pedestals for these humongous, overly expensive, overly priced universities. Don't get discouraged if you don't get into your dream university, because let me tell you something. Most of those universities are overpriced, and you're going to get, and let's say you want to major in something, I don't know, for example, like nursing. If you want to major in nursing and you go to a community college, and let's say you want to go to the highest med school in the nation, I promise you're going to get paid the same. They don't care about what school you went to. They don't care if you went to Johns Hopkins University or if you went to Florida University or your local, you know, state university. Like, they don't care. A lot of the time society I feel like glorifies like those universities, and And I mean, if it's your dream and you really want to get into one of those, by all means, work hard and get into it. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't like let that consume you. That idea of like, oh, if I don't get into the best school ever, I don't want to go to college. Because I feel like a lot of people have that mentality. Yeah. Especially in like college. Now that I'm in college, like I've met some other people who are about to graduate, and they're very like it's set in stone that they want to go to this university. It has to be the top of the line. If they don't get in, like they're just gonna call it quits. And it's like, come on, guys. Like you know how little acceptance rate it is. Like you're baffling yourself if you think you're gonna get accepted unless you're like a genius. But I was just gonna say, start off small. Like don't sleep on your local community college. Go. They have a lot of resources. They have a lot of the same programs that you can get into a 4-year university. And at the end of the day, like my husband was saying, Joey was saying, you know, it takes time. You know, if you start off at a community college, it's not end all. It doesn't mean you can't get your bachelor's. You can. Most of the universities work hand in hand with your local community college, and they'll accept all of your credits. And then you'll go and you'll get your bachelor's in like a year. So that would be my advice to everyone out there. Like, just do some research. Don't think that you can't go to college because it's not one of those 4-year fancy schmancy, overly priced, $80,000 a semester. Like for real, like don't do that, you know.
It's crazy that you mentioned that they don't care, because statistics and numbers are coming out, and seriously, like they don't care.
Yeah.
Like
they don't care if you went to Princeton or Harvard. You're gonna do the same thing. You're applying for the same job.
I think well, I was gonna say, she said something really good, but time out because I need to plug the charger. My laptop's about to die.
Well, Joey does that. There is numbers that have been coming out, and so supposedly, I mean, if you really go ahead, Joey, if you really look at the numbers, man, there's a lot of jobs that don't even they care more about the experience that you've had, and we have one testimony here, which is Kevin. I mean, he figured out college is not for me, so he went another route. So. Man, I would say that if you're out of high school, man, figure it out. If you really are interested in going to school, there's nothing wrong with not going to college and grinding it out. I mean, you can grind it out. I did it myself. Kevin did it himself. But, you know, there's no judgment here. That's what I'm trying to get at. Whether you want to go to college or not go to college, it's up to you. Just make sure you're not wasting your money or your time in picking something that eventually is not going to bring revenue, and don't get into debt, man.
Yeah.
Go to Dave Ramsey's podcast, and he'll tell you about student loans.
Yeah. No, I mean that's definitely true. If you don't want to go to college, you don't have to. Like, I have a friend in high school that was going to college at the same time as me to be a dental hygienist, and she dropped out of college because she picked up doing acrylic nails on the side. Like, she started to learn on her own. She was just practicing, you know, to make money, like a side gig. Now she makes more money doing that than she probably would as a dental hygienist. Sure. And it was like, well, she started off with a plan, but things went another way, and she still she pursued something else, and it was a smart decision. And sometimes I'd be, you know, sometimes I'll reach out to her and I'd be like, you know, it's just crazy to me that you make so much money just doing nails now, you know, and you ended up dropping out of college because you realize, like, I don't need this, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You gotta be smart about it. But anyways, I don't know if you.
Yeah, just really fast. I think what Milka said was really good. Because what I got from it was basically make the most of where you're at.
Yeah.
Like, wherever you're at, whether you're in college or you're in community or you're in the middle and you just have a bunch of time, whatever you have, wherever you're at, like, make the most of it. You know, like you were saying, like, even if you're working at McDonald's or whatever job, like,
do it well.
Do it well, you know, like, just make the most of where you're at. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know, you have, I think another thing is this, we have such a long life ahead of us.
Yeah.
We're so young. You're 18, you're, I don't know, 22 if you're graduating, something like that. Like, you're so young. We have such a long way ahead of us.
Yeah.
We have so much left to do. So, I mean, this isn't the end all be all. You know, just don't worry. Just make the most of you know, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at.
And it's never too late. I just had that in there too. It's never too late. If you want to go back to college because you want to, I don't know, have a career in something, like,
It's never too late.
It's never too late. Sometimes my classmates and I admire them. You know, full-time moms, 3 kids, husband, and then out of nowhere they decided to go back to college, and they're graduating at the same time as me, and they're not less than me. If anything, I'm like, you know what, girl, props to you. You know what, dude, props to you that you're doing that.
Yeah, but it all comes to having a routine and having that drive, you know. It's more than a dream. You have to have that drive, that passion that surpasses even like your physical capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you do have a dream and you know you got to pay bills, but what are you doing on your Saturdays and Sundays? What are you doing in your free time? Are you watching movies? Are you watching Barney? Or are you or are you actually investing in something that could potentially become something that can generate income and whatnot? But yeah, man, I think this has been a good episode. We're like 1 hour in and 1 hour and some in. But
9 hours and change.
Oh, wow.
Exciting time. I mean, a lot of people are graduating this, and we pray that you that God's peace is always with you. We pray that you receive wisdom, guidance, and I ask the Holy Spirit to also remind you of the Word of God, because there's a Bible verse that says that His Word is the lamp that to our feet. So He will show you the way, but it's through the Word of God that you will eventually find purpose and find, you know, purpose in life. Mm-hmm. And another thing too as well, if you're still trying to find purpose, it's learn how to love, man. Learn how to love people, because that's what it all comes about. Mm-hmm. It's the love for people is what's gonna unlock the purpose that you have in your life. I mean, if you look at it in the biblical sense, every single gift, every single thing, it's driven for the church and to others. So if you have a selfish desire or selfish goal, it's probably not going to satisfy you. Yeah. But if you have something that it goes beyond you, it's putting your brother and sister, you know, in a position that you can help them eventually, then that's probably going to be more fulfillment. It's gonna fill you up with more fulfillment than a regular dream job, let's say.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't know if you guys have anything else to say, but I'm pretty much done. But yeah, we pray that God blesses you, that He be with you, that He gives you guidance, wisdom. To all my college people that are stressing out, man, take a deep breath. You got this.
Yeah.
To all my moms out there that feel like, you know, it's all a routine, this is, you know, sucks, life sucks, switch your mentality. Your best days are ahead. It's a matter of you feeding your mind the right things. Feed the Word of God into your mind, feed the word of the Lord into your mind, and see how things are going to change. And I guarantee you that your day to day is going to change if you start thinking about what's pure, about what's good, about godly things. Your life is going to change on a daily basis. But I don't know if you guys have anything else to say.
No, man, just keep your eyes on the kingdom. Like Kevin said, kingdom culture.
Take us out, Kev.
It's been an honor. It's been a good moment, good conversation. Thank you, Milka, for joining us today. And we're gonna see more of you soon. We got more episodes coming up. But what can you tell us to end?
Don't give up. Keep pushing, even if you want to quit. And if you don't want to go to college and you want to do something else, do it, man. No, you know, you're the only thing stopping you. And keep your eyes on God, and He'll take care of everything else.
Amen. God is the center, and He was the center of this conversation. He'll be the center of the rest of ones. So thank you guys for watching. Click subscribe if you haven't done so. Give us a like, please. Share it with your friends. If you got family, friends that are graduating, share this with them. I think we gave some pretty good advice, really beneficial, you know, huge blessing advice. And check the links. Check our most recent episode as well. And thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. So peace.
Happy graduation.
Congrats, class of 2024.
Stop being lazy.
Yes.
I don't think they can hear you, Jerry.
Oh.
Stop being lazy. Put in work. Put on your big boy pants.
Mm-hmm.
Stop being lazy.
Stop, it hurts.
Yeah.
See you.
Peace.